to the bank teller to cash a $95 check using $20 and $5 bills. If the teller gave her a total of 7 bills, how many of each type of bill did she receive? So Anne goes to the bank, she gives her $95 check, and she says she wants 20s and 5s for whatever reason. We can figure out exactly how many this bank teller is going to give her if we know that she gave her back 7 bills. Now, do you guys see in this problem that they're asking us to figure out 2 things? That's almost always our clue that we're going to have to set up a system of equations to solve this problem. If they're asking us to find only one thing, we might potentially be able to just solve it with one equation. Okay? Finding 2 things, we need 2 equations to make that happen. What are the 2 things that we are looking to find? How many of each type of bill? And there are 2 types of bills, correct? 20s and 5s? Let's let x be the number of 20s. And I'm going to let y be the number of 5s. In this particular problem, could I have switched that? Could I let x be the number of 5s and y be the number of 20s? Yes. Absolutely. Now, if there's a situation where we have an independent or dependent variable, we do need to be specific and use the correct variables. But in this case, it didn't matter. So if she gave her a check for $95 to cash, some were 10s and some were 5s. Let's write an equation with that information. Kinsey, got it? Okay, so you took it a different way, which will work. X plus y equals 7. We know that teller gave her back $7, or 7 bills, excuse me. Some of them are 20s, some of them are 5s, there's a total of 7. Logan, do you have the other one?
20x plus 5y equals 95.
20x plus 5y equals 95. I like that one too. Let's talk about this second equation. There were X number of $20 bills, right? And obviously a $20 bill is worth $20. There were Y number of 5s, and obviously a $5 bill is worth $5. So that's why we're taking 20 times X and 5 times Y. Now, isn't 95 also money related? Mm-hmm. Money. On both sides of our problem, we're dealing with money. That's why it wouldn't make sense to put 7 down here, would it? 7 is talking about the money of those. So that might be something you can think about as you're forming your equations. At this point, we need to solve. I don't care which method you use to solve, substitution, elimination, graphing, it's up to you. I'm thinking elimination is going to be fine. Right? You can use substitution if you like. Probably not going to choose graphing. I'm going to multiply that top equation by -5. Which leaves me with -5x minus 5y equals -35. So 15x equals 60. We go ahead and solve for x by dividing by 15. 60 divided by 15 is 4. Stay with me. Do you think that seems like a reasonable answer? Yes. X is representing the number of 20s. There are 4 20s. There were a total of 7 bills, so I think 4 definitely seems reasonable. Now, we should really do quick and easy math in our brains here to figure out the number of $5 bills. How many $5 bills are there? 3. Because there were a total of 7, right? 4 of which were 20s. So y has to be 3. Now, is that true? Obviously, 4 plus 3 is 7, so I know it works for the first equation. 4 times 20, that would give me $80. If she had 3 5s, that would give me $15. Is that a total of $95? Mm-hmm. Yes, so I know that those answers are correct. So let's write a sentence summarizing our answers. The question was, how many of each type of bill did she receive? I'll say she, Anne, is her name. Received 4 $20 bills and 3 $5 summarizing our findings, answering the question the problem gave us. Any questions on 5? Let's move on to number 6. A financial planner wants to invest $7,000, some in stocks earning 15% annually, and the rest in bonds earning 8% annually. How much should be invested at each rate to get a return of $840 annually from the 2 investments? So I'm guessing at your age you probably don't do a whole lot of investing. Okay, so let's just pretend here. Let's pretend you have $7,000 and you want to put them in stocks and bonds, just 2 different investments. One of them is going to give you back 15% every year, the other is going to give you back 8%. That means you're going to earn money just for putting your money in these stocks and bonds. We want to know how much we should invest in each stock and bonds to get a return of $840 annually. So what are we going to let X and Y be?
15%.
Do what?
15% and 8%.
So what are they specifically asking you for?
The stock.
How much should be invested in each rate to get a return of $840? Okay.
Money invested in stocks, money invested in bonds.
Perfect, that'll work. Let X be the amount invested in stocks, and then we'll let Y be the amount of money invested in bonds. X is the amount of money invested in stocks, and Y is the amount of money invested in bonds. How much total money do we have to invest? 7,000. So some of it's in stocks, some of it's in bonds, for a total of 7,000. Who has an equation for me?
X plus Y.
Very good, Gracie. X plus Y equals 7,000. Now the second one might be a little tricky for you. But give you an idea.
So 0.008x plus, no, 0.15x plus 0.008y.
You're really close. Really close. Now I want to go back to what you were talking about. Like you were changing them into decimals, weren't you? And I like what he did there. If we use a percentage in a problem, don't we need to make it into a decimal? Okay, so do you guys agree like 8% would be what? 0.08. And the other was 15%. That would be what? Yeah, 0.15. Everyone okay with that? Okay, so percents to decimals. Now let's apply that to this situation. How much are we investing at 8%? Well, 8% was the bonds, and 15% was the stocks, right? So let's start with stocks. I'm going to put X number of dollars into stocks. What's my rate of return there? 15%. So if I take 15% of X, 15% of the amount I'm putting in stocks, that's going to tell me how much I'm going to get back from the stocks. Plus, if I take 8% of the amount of money I'm going to put in bonds, that's going to tell me how much I'm going to get back. Okay, you guys see what I'm doing? 8% that was the bonds, that was Y, and 15% those were the stocks. Good with what I've got here? This is going to tell me this right here. It's going to tell me how much I'm going to get back from all the stocks. And this is going to tell me how much I'm going to get back from the bonds. What do I want to get back annually? 840. Alright, we've got our 2 equations. At this point, you get to decide which method to solve, either substitution or elimination. Want to try substitution since we did elimination on the last one? I'm going to solve for y, so I'll subtract x. Y equals 7,000 minus x. I'm going to put that in for y in the second equation. X plus 560 minus 0.08x. Did I make a mistake? And then say 40. So I'm going to subtract 560 from both sides. 0.15 minus 0.08 is 0.07x equals 840 minus 560 is 280. And then divide by 0.07. I got 4,000. Does that answer seem like a reasonable answer? 4,000? What is X representing? Let's go back up here. It's the amount of money invested in stocks. If I put 4,000, does that seem reasonable? What was the total amount that we're going to invest? 7,000. So I think this seems like a reasonable amount. So then what is y? You guys should be able to calculate this even in your head. What's y going to be? 3,000. If there's a total of 7,000 invested, then that leaves 3,000 in bonds. 4,000 in stocks, and that leaves 3,000 in bonds. Okay, so let's summarize this with a sentence. It says how much should be invested in each rate to get a return of $840 annually from the two investments. They should invest $4,000 in, that was X, let me show you this right, it's in stocks, earning 15%, and $3,000 in bonds, earning 8%. One more question. You doing okay so far? Let's look at this last one. A phone call is charged at one rate, a fixed amount for the first minute, and a different rate for each additional minute. If an 8-minute call costs $5.05, and a 22-minute call costs $14.15, find each rate. Okay, so my brain automatically goes into slope intercept form. I'm sure if yours does, mine did. I'm thinking a fixed amount, and then they're going to charge for each additional minute. So the first minute you're going to pay blank. And then every additional minute you're going to pay a different rate. So that makes me think slope intercept form because we have an M and a B, a fixed amount, and a value that's changing. So let's set up our variables here. What are the two things we want to find? Okay.
Rate for the first minute, then rate for each other minute.
That's right. Let's let X be the rate for the first minute. And I'm going to let Y be the rate for the additional minutes. two different scenarios to help us formulate two equations. They said an 8-minute phone call costs $5.05. How much did they pay for the very first minute of that phone call? X. Did they pay X? We don't know what it is. We're going to say it's X. Plus, they're going to get charged for each additional minutes. Now think about this for a second. If it's an 8-minute phone call, one of those minutes you're going to pay X. The next 7 minutes you're going to pay a different rate, correct? You see how I did that? First minute you're paying X. Every additional minute you're going to pay Y. How many additional minutes do we have? 7. So let's do 7 times whatever that additional rate is. So the first minute we're paying X. So we pay X only one time, don't we? That's only for the first minute. The additional minutes, there's 7 additional minutes in an 8-minute phone call. We're going to pay a rate of Y. How much total was that phone call? The 8-minute phone call? $5.05. Let's look at a 22-minute phone call. For the 22-minute phone call, how much are we going to pay for that first minute? X, just like we did on the 8-minute phone call. We're going to pay X for the first minute. Each additional minute, we're going to pay Y. Well, how many additional minutes are there in a 22-minute phone call? 21. And there was a total cost of $14.15. Is everyone okay with setting up those two equations? Remember, as far as solving, I don't care what method you use. I think I'm going to use elimination here. I'm going to multiply the top equation by -1. So I have negative x minus 7y equals negative 5.05. 21y minus 7y is 14y. And 15 minus 5.05 is 9.1. Divide by 14. I got 0.65. Do you think it's okay to have a decimal in this situation? Why? Talking about money, aren't we? Do you have a question here? Good question. It's a 22-minute phone call. You're right. The first minute we're going to pay X. But for the additional minutes, those 21 extra minutes, we're going to pay Y. Come in. Haley, does that answer your question? Is everybody okay with this being a decimal? We're talking about money, so it's okay to have a decimal. 65 cents, does that seem reasonable? For every additional minute, they're going to charge you 65 cents? Seems kind of steep, but I think it's reasonable, right? So let's figure out how much they're going to charge us for the first minute. Let's put this back in. Doesn't matter which equation we use, I'm going to use the first one. So x plus 7 times 0.65 equals 5.05. 7 times 0.65 talking about money. X and Y are values, they're money. So I think decimals are okay here. 50 cents seems reasonable, 65 cents seems this with a sentence. It says to find each rate. The first minute. Is being charged at a rate of 50 cents. Each additional minute is being charged $0.65. So the first minute is being charged at a rate of 50 cents. Each additional minute is being charged 65 cents. Remember to make sure that your answers seem reasonable. If they're $65 or $50, that doesn't seem reasonable, especially for a phone call that costs $5.05 or $14.15. I think our answers seem reasonable for these problems. Alright, that's where I'm going to stop for today. Remember to define your variables, write your equation, of course, solve, and then to wrap it up with this sentence. Today we are going to finish the problems that we started yesterday. So we did 1 through 4 yesterday. 5, 6, and 7 are today's homework. Did anybody turn in this paper? Like this hard copy? Okay. I do have some more hard copies if you need another or want one.
Wait, is it on?
It's also on Google Classroom.
Because I saw it. Can I check it?
Yeah. Let me pull it out.